I hope it continues to run here. With our plot, we figured out the beginning of our story on this roller coaster. The first thing that happened is our two monsters were outside. They heard a strange sound they did not know. So now we're heading into the middle of our story, or the thing that happens next. So let's take a look at a few more pages of our story after I play you a video to get your attention. Are you ready? Let's review what all of it is. Okay, so hold on just a moment. Let me share that with you. And let's have a little fun. Let's wake ourselves up ready for this. Let's go back to Mr. Hartman, and he's got the parts of the story for us.
Hartman, give me the
Let's sing about the parts of a story. Keep them on your mind as you read and write. Beginning, middle, end, characters and setting. And what is the story mostly about? The beginning is when the story starts. The beginning is when the story starts. The middle is what happens next. The middle is what happens next. The end is the finish of the story. The end is the finish of the story. The characters are who is in the story. The characters are who is in the story. The setting is when and where it takes place. The setting is when and where it takes place. The main idea is what the story's mostly about. The main idea is what the story's mostly about. Go, tortoise, go! Never give up! You're a winner! Let's sing about the parts of a story. Keep them on your mind as you read and write. Beginning, middle, end, characters and setting. And what is the story mostly about? When you read, write, or retell any kind of story, you've got to know the important parts. They're called the elements or parts of the story. Remember this song and you'll know them by heart. Let's sing about the parts of a story. Keep them on your mind as you read and write. Beginning, middle, end, characters and settings. And what is the story mostly about?
What's that story about?
Who's in it?
When and where did it happen?
How did it begin?
What about the middle?
End of story. Let's be friends. Place your mouse on my
All right.
guitar and click
So
the
I'm
red
actually
subscribe
going to
button.
Click this off this time and bring you back. So I'm going to read a little bit more of our story, and I want you to figure out the middle of the story, or what happens next. Okay? So we have a scary story. Remember the front cover, back cover, spine. We have our title, which tells us what the story is about. And we have our author, which is Keisha Johnson, and illustrated by Marco Bucci, who is our author. I did it again. Keisha Johnson is our author. She writes the words. Our illustrator is Marco Bucci, and he draws the pictures. We have our title page, which tells us the same as the title, the front cover does, but it adds in the publisher, the where, when, and why. When, where, when, and who published it. I hear a noise. What could it be? I think there's something in that tree. Yes. And you remember our first thing that we figured out is they've heard a sound they know nothing about and trying to guess what it is. So it sounds so big, it sounds so scary. I'm afraid it's big and hairy. Scary, hairy. So we drew gorilla and a bear. They do not know what this sound is. They are so confused. I think that's our problem. Oh, the problem. I hope it doesn't want to eat. I hope we're not a tasty treat. Eat, treat. Their imagination is gone even more. Here, Yellow has even thought he's even eaten by a dragon. Was that a snap? Was that a howl? Oh dear, I heard a growl. Howl, growl. Now they're imagining, look at these animals. Their imagination's getting stronger and stronger. They're thinking the sound could be something that's really gonna hurt them. Grrr. Was that a stomp? Was that a crunch? Will it eat us for its lunch? Look at that. They're getting really scared. They're getting closer and closer together. Crunch, snap. Now I want you to think about this problem that they're having is they're thinking there's this sound that they don't know what it is, but is their imagination adding more sounds? Or are the sounds they are hearing exactly what's there? We heard crunch, stomp. I'm going to go back. We heard a grrr for a growl. So are the sounds matching what they're hearing and stating what they are for their characters? So how are we going to do this next part, this middle? What are we going to come up with as we read this last page? Are you ready? I don't think this is much fun. You're right. I think it's time to run. Grrr, it's getting bigger. So we're going to stop right there. We're going to take out our trifold. Okay. Take it out of your journals. Very good. We have identified our characters, our blue monster and our yellow monster. We have also identified our settings, that it's during the daytime and we're out at the forest or the woods, outside on the grass. And then we came up with our first part of our story, okay? And the first part we said, they heard a sound they don't know. So I drew a bear and a gorilla. They're imagining it's some big animal because they said it was big. So what are we going to do for the middle? So let's write middle on here, okay? So let's write middle. So there's our M. I. Duh. We're going to write two does. Two does. Middle. What happens in the middle? So what is actually going on? We figured out there's a problem that they have heard sounds that they can't identify. Their imagination is getting more and more. So what should we do? We drew just a couple of angry animals that they thought they heard. Could we draw some more animals or write down some letter sounds, some words? They think they're going to be eaten. They think that something is howling and growling. What would you write down? They think they're going to be lunch. They think something's going to happen to them. That's right. So let's come up with a sentence real quick. They think they're going to be eaten. That's our big problem, isn't it? So let's write that sentence. They, just like we began yesterday with the word they. So let's write that. They, T-H. Remember, they think. ink, they will be eaten. Okay. They think ink. They will be eaten. And I know I wrote mine quickly because remember, you're writing your own words and not copying mine because I want you to sound out your letters that you hear when you're writing each word. You're to do your best. And since it's a think, we're going to put 2 more thought bubbles out there. Okay? So remember, you're writing your own words. Let's get 2 more thought bubbles out there. And remember, these thought bubbles are going to be something a little more aggressive because they think they're going to be eaten. So could we put like the dragon thought, yellow monster thought the dragon was going to eat him and all that was left was his hat? Yeah. So we may have that, or we may have that they think it's going to be the big bear that's going to come and eat them. You draw your picture as to what you think it might be. And we look forward to seeing those thoughts that go along with what is happening in the middle of our story. And tomorrow we're going to come back and we are going to conclude with the rest of part 7, K.7c. I can develop the describe the elements of a plot development, which includes the main event, the problem, and the resolution. All right, so we've done step 1, what came in the middle of our story, and tomorrow we're going to finish our story up. We look forward to seeing your pictures and your drawings. Remember, take your time. Redo this video if you need to, and don't hesitate to ask for help if you need it. We will talk to you later. Bye for now.